everybody. Welcome to the show called Box Seats. This is the show where we talk about sports with comedians. It's Tuesday, so let's get ready to jump right into it. First up, as usual, is my man T. What's up, T? What's up, Talent? How you doing, sir? How's everything?
Fantastic on my end, brother. How's everything on your end? Good?
I cannot complain. Hope you had a good weekend. Good weekend?
Great weekend. Happy belated Father's Day and Juneteenth, brother.
Same to you. Same to you. Also, my man Fig. What's up, Fig? How's your weekend?
Man, it was sexy, man. If I said anything different, I'd be lying.
Okay, all right. And also Rodney Perry in the building. Rodney Perry, how was your weekend? How you doing, sir?
I'm beefing with people that call me more than once for Father's Day.
And Mike Sean is also in the building. Mike, how you doing, sir? How's everything?
I'm good. Happy that call you more than once for Father's Day?
So, Mike Sean, hear me out. They call, I say thank you, then they say something else.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Oh, you want the phone call to be over after the Happy Father's Day? Over. Got it. I got you. All right.
Don't even say something else after that.
Now it's a conversation.
I want my kids, man. I want my kids.
I wholeheartedly understand that conversation.
Yeah, no dialogue.
Yeah, I don't even know how to follow up with that one, Rodney. I don't even know how to follow up with that one.
Don't follow it. Just go ahead. Run the show.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. All right, let me get my stuff set up. All right, so this, I don't know if you guys saw this, man, but literally 30 minutes before the show got it kicked off. Deshaun Watson's thing looked like it's coming to a resolution because right before 45 minutes before we got on the show, man, Deshaun Watson news broke out saying that he settled 20 of 24 cases, leaving only 4 cases left. 20 of those cases are going to be dismissed. Terms of the cases are not going to be disclosed. Meanwhile, the NFL is going to decide what they're going to do. The crazy thing about this is being that 20 of the 24 cases have been settled and everything else, this process has got to be working for a while and everything else. And because Rodney Perry thinks I go in the same order, I'm going to switch it up. Mike Sean, you go first, Mike. What do you think the NFL is going to do and how do you think they're going to handle this situation? Because at the end of the day, if Tom Brady got suspended for 4 games for deflated football, what do you think the NFL is going to do, Mike?
Well, now we done switched it up. Now we done got 20 out of 24, which means the 24 are probably going to be taken care of, which now this turns into a 4-game, 5-game suspension. That's what I believe. But I just want to know what happened to the 66.
Right.
Did y'all just throw that number out there to slander the dude, or where did 66 go?
Right.
Because y'all was all over the headlines yelling out 60, 66 and saying that the gentleman had lied and saying that all of a sudden he said so-and-so and they were like 66 within seven months or something like that. They had a time frame and everything. That's what I want to know. Retract those reports if they weren't true.
But Rodney Perry, 66 people the New York Times dug up does not mean that there's 66 people who filed the cases, leading to what Mike Sean is saying, which is still true what Mike's saying. But at the end of the day, the NFL is now getting ready to be back in the corner where they got to do something. And you said literally that the NFL is going to have to do something.
Yeah, I still think that they're definitely going to have to do something. I wouldn't. It's not beyond me to see something like Mike said, 4 or 5 game suspension, but it won't be a lot. And they paid this man a lot of money so he would have the money to spend to deal with this thing. And so everybody know what they're doing. It's not just Watson; it's the owner over there in Houston. A lot of people that's implicated in here different type of ways. So I'm glad we're gonna see this come to an end. And if any woman was irreparably damaged, I feel sorry for her. Hopefully she get enough money to make those feelings go away a little bit.
Talent, do you think the NFL is going to be under pressure to handle this situation a lot more stringent than the Tom Brady situation and the other situations in the past? Do you think there's going to be pressure on them? Roger Goodell?
I don't think so. I think when this many people settle this fast, after all of this hoopla, I think you just going to be swept under the rug pretty quick. You know what I mean? And we said that. Well, at least I said that when we all this time it never went criminal. When it never went criminal or to a criminal court per se, and it just was blowing smoke behind the lawyers oh, my girl said that. And now you come all the way here to say, oh, all the cases are settled. You take validity out of the case, first of all. And more importantly, another big blemish on this whole hashtag Me Too thing. Because there's people out there that really, this is really happening. And you're using that power of the movement to only get a check cut. You don't really care to stop it. This guy's the monster, as we labeled him to be. Like Mike said, where's the 60-some women at?
Speaking of which, Fig, at the end of the day, does your eyebrows get raised that 20 of these women basically settled this thing before it moved forward? Any of your eyebrows raised? Anything goes off in you? Nothing?
No, man. 20 got money. 4 want more. That's it.
That's it. Okay. All right.
And Frank, I hate to be, and maybe I should watch what I say here. I hate to be callous. Let's just say you were one of the 20 women that it really did happen to, right? And somebody says, I'll give you $2 million. Let's say it really did happen. And somebody gives you $2 million. You're not taking the $2 million, even if it really did happen? Because you can't get a criminal charge on it. So you might as well, like, I don't even look at these women sideways. If it did happen and somebody offered you $2 or $3 million, you might as well take it.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, let's be honest, like, not to belittle them anyway. These
in no way, and that's not what I mean by.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just saying these women are doing massage that, like, they're getting paid not a lot of money anyway, and they're standing on their feet all day long giving massages to everybody. Somebody coming in and say, here's $2 million. I think that a lot of them would take it. You know what I mean? I like that numbers too. I mean, I like a lot of them would take it. Let's jump into the next story, because the next story is kind of interesting too. I don't know if you guys saw this one. Oh, it happened Saturday. Before we jump into the NBA and everything else, this happened Saturday. I was kind of a little bit depressed about this when I saw this. So I'm going to start with you, Rodney Perry, because I ain't started with you first yet. So Brittany Griner's wife told the Associated Press that the WNBA star tried nearly a dozen times to call her on Saturday, which was their anniversary, Rodney Perry. According to them, they never connected because no one at the U.S. Embassy in Moscow was able to be reached, so the call could be connected from the Moscow to the United States for their anniversary. Now, the key part about this is this had been settled to be taken care of weeks prior. So what's your thoughts when you hear about this situation not being handled by the U.S. Embassy dropping the ball on their anniversary, especially on
what was it? What day was it?
This was Saturday.
You know, people ain't working on Saturday. I mean, when you say you thinking in your mind, you're like, oh, that must be a Friday. Oh yeah, we got you. And then you say then you like, oh, that's Saturday. Ain't nobody gonna be here Saturday. We can do it Monday, But it's our anniversary. I don't give, man. I'm gonna be with my family on Saturday. Sorry, Brittany.
Interesting.
They don't. How about this? They don't give a damn about Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
An absolute fact.
Yeah. Fig, you've been married for a long time, man. And people who are celebrating their anniversary, that's a big deal to them. So they basically cut this thing in for a long period of time. Like, they've been working forward to this because she ain't seen her in 124 days. You know what I mean? Like, it's been a while. What's your thought when you hear about this?
Kanye West, man, basically put the whole thing on George Bush when he said George Bush don't care about black people, but that's America.
Yeah.
We all stated a long time ago that if this was somebody else and their complexion was different, it would have been a different outcome. It would have had more attention, and the young lady probably be home by now. But she got 2 things going. 3. She's a woman, she's black, and she's part of the LGBTQ community. They don't give a damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
I can't even respond.
Do you think they would have got out of there if she was a little cuter?
We'll get to that. T, you're up, man. What's your thought process been on this whole thing? Being you're single, do you think this is more of a United States not paying attention to that, or somebody dropped the ball?
Ain't nobody dropped the ball. Rodney got a point. If she's a little cuter, you can knock that 124 days down. But I'm gonna tell you like this. I know because my family got a lot of lesbians on the East Coast. My family.
Is that right?
124 days in lesbian time is 18 months. So they're real pissed off. She's been over there for 18 months. Nobody gave them no indication, no word, no negotiation, no schedule, no time frame. They're gonna mess around, and somebody gonna do something crazy down in the village, West Village. I'll tell you right now. Whenever something happens in the LGBT community, they go hard. But I'm like Rodney.
They go hard.
They go
Extra hard. Extra
Hey, let me-
hard.
They go extra hard.
Gay Paul.
I'm with Rodney though. I think the problem is the timing of this. If you ain't been paying attention, we got zero juice while the war going on. America got zero juice while the war is going on, and that's the real problem. If this was going on and there ain't no war over there, they would have been worked something out. But we have zero juice. She's in the right place at the wrong time for us to not be able to do what we need to do in a timely fashion. That's just about it.
Mike Sean, WNBA taking a beating for this one? What you or is this more in the U.S. government?
Can you give me the letters again? I want to say it correctly. L what?
LBZZTGO.
All right, all the letters, right? All the letters. Every letter. I don't want to miss a letter. You're selling. Are we still in Pride Month? Is this still Pride Month?
Yeah.
Yes. All straight people here.
Okay. I'm sorry. My bad. But we're versatile. We're all
Pride Month. Yes, it's Pride.
It is Pride Month.
Yeah.
Okay, so where are your protests in front of the White House? Where are those 30, 50, 60, 70,000 people chanting free Brittany Griner?
Right.
Is it not convenient, or is it because she's not your star celebrity that you guys admire and look up to? If it was Ellen, would you be in front of the Capitol right now chanting and ready to tear things down? This is one of your folks. One of your folks is there. Y'all been banging us in the head about all the rights that you want. Now they got one of your people locked up unjustly, and y'all done left her out there. I don't hear the big ruckus. I don't hear all the lesbian celebrities stepping up and saying, we got to get Brittany Griner out.
That's a great point.
Y'all are funny. Y'all are funny on the convenience and when and where. When Dave Chappelle shoots up at the mouth, y'all want him done. When somebody imprisons one of y'all in a Russian jail, y'all do nothing? Okay, I'm off my soapbox.
Yo, Rodney, we need to get a horn or something, man. We got to figure out how we're going to get a horn or something so we could be sounding it off when dudes sound it off. We got to definitely do that. T, you up first, man. No, you know what? I'm going to go to Fig first with this one because I want to see what Fig going to say with this one first. Fig, you're up. Brooklyn News has dropped out basically saying Kyrie Irving is getting ready to figure out what he has to do in a couple of days because at the end of the day, he has the option to opt in for $36.1 million. It's heavily being rumored that he's going to the Knicks or the Lakers because he's not going to opt in. That's what the heavily rumors and everything else like that. Now, we all know how you feel about this situation, but what do you think is going to happen in the situation? What do you really think is going to happen? What you think, right?
No. We do not want him here. Not in New York. We don't want him. Listen, a lot of people say they want Kyrie in the garden and stuff like that, man. Look, the truth of the matter is Kyrie is a next level player. The only problem anybody has with Kyrie is it seems like his outside life seems to override his basketball commitment. And this has nothing to do with vaccinations. I want to push that one aside. Even before the vaccination and before the pandemic, Kyrie had problems with organizations. First, it was the Cleveland, then it was Boston, then he get to the Nets. He not showing up. He not playing. Having nothing to do with the vaccinations. Push that out. Not talking about that. For any reason that he can come up with that would cause him not to want to play, he don't play. That's not what we need as a Knick. Maybe they can handle that in LA because the best season or the best part of Kyrie's career is when he was next to LeBron James. So maybe that's what he needs, that kind of leadership to be able to produce at a high level. So I think the best place for Kyrie Irving, if he's going to leave Brooklyn, would be in Los Angeles with LeBron James.
So with that being said, Mike Sean, that means if he opts in and it's an opt-in trade, that means that Russell Westbrook could probably end up basically on the Brooklyn Nets too. But let's go back. First of all, do you think Kyrie Irving is going to opt in? And where do you think Kyrie Irving's situation is going to land? The Knicks, the Lakers? Because there's not too many other teams that even really want him, to be honest with you.
He fits. LeBron knows perfectly how to play with him, but I think he'd have to eat humble pie because he's the one who left LeBron. I don't think he'll do that. Now, to Fig's point, I will take Kyrie Irving on the Knicks. I don't give a damn if he says he doesn't play on Fridays. I will give him, you can come play on this Knickerbocker team whenever you want. You can tell me you're not playing on odd number dates, and you can still play. You can tell me you will not play in Utah because you don't like Utah. I'm still putting you on the squad because that man right now has a grind to axe. He has something to prove. I want his attitude, his cockiness. I don't give a damn what he demands. The Knicks ain't winning the championship regardless next year. Having Kyrie Irving on the team will get us back in the Garden, at least in the playoffs, where you never know what might happen. Bring him, Kyrie, whatever you need. You need white chicks on the low? We got you. It don't matter what you need. We will sneak them into the Garden whenever you need them, and nobody will know. Thank you.
The other Knicks fan on the panel, T, do you think Kyrie Irving is going to opt in, A, or do you think he's going to opt out and end up on the Knicks or the Lakers?
Hey, what he said? This guy right here? This guy right here. I'm 100%. Mike Shaw for president of the Knicks, the Garden, the MST, the Yes Network. That's a hand on the pulse. See, Fig X is like, you know how the Muslims are. They get a little in their feelings. You know, I froze a bean pie one time, and they had me barred from the mosque for 2 years.
No.
Listen, yeah, they get real. They get in their feelings. I got a lot of Muslim friends. Like they don't play with that. They're figuring his emotions because the man takes days off. I'm with Mike Thorne. The man is such a beast at what he does, and we're at such a deficit at needing a person that point in that position. If you can get your hands on the best, I don't care if like you take. You could. I'm with Mike. Tell us what days you need off. We got Juneteenth. We got Juneteenth. Listen, man, you take him in a heartbeat. Because I'm also a firm believer in two things. Like, and that's a good point Mike said. He would have to probably eat crow and have a conversation he's not willing to have and concede to a few things to go directly to the Lakers. They got to work that out. But in New York, it makes the most sense. Now out of my fandom, just as a regular person of the game, it makes sense because that's really where you guys intended to go in the first place. It didn't pan out. So if I don't like my situation, I gave it a year in Brooklyn, they did some things, they said some things, they upset me. All I got to do is go across the street to a more famous arena. It's a no-brainer. I'll take him in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? Fig got one foot out the door. Fig left the Giants for less.
All right, so on the flip side of that, Rodney Perry, you're a Lakers fan. Would you like to see Kyrie Irving as a Laker?
Absolutely. I mean, the guy is still a great player. He knows how to play with LeBron. LeBron has been in need of a point guard for quite some time, especially a point guard of that caliber. If you can get Kyrie and you can get an AD healthy, and you can be back in condition for a title. I'm not mad at that. And I think Mike Sean alluded to Kyrie got a chip on his shoulder now because now Steph moved even further ahead of him. So another ring is par for the course for him.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, that I'm sure that has a lot to do with it too. All right, so let's go up to the next
Frank,
subject.
I will get the whole team unvaccinated.
Fig had his hand up. Fig had his hand up.
Okay.
No, the only thing I was just adding is that like the Knicks is a young team, and I'm afraid what Kyrie's influence would be on our young players. That's another thing that I'm concerned with. It's not It has nothing to do with the way he plays on the court. He's a beast. If it's just about the way he plays on the court, like I've got him all day long. But Kyrie has never been the best influence. He's never been the best influence on young talent. You see what happened in Boston.
Hold on.
And Fig, what you saying is right. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying is right. But that young talent didn't make the goddamn playoffs. So at that point, I'm like, I'm done coddling these guys. Like, we need a star in here to do what they got to do so the Garden can get the respect that they should have. And I'm tired of watching games at the Barclays Center. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, definitely with that one. All right, here's another thing that flew under the radar over the weekend. Rodney Perry, you up first, man. Miami Heat ended up looking like they're getting ready to lose PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker opted out on Saturday of his $7.4 million player option for next season. He's entering free agency, and notice how it's all starting to happen literally before the draft. The draft is Thursday, so this stuff is happening right now. PJ Tucker is literally can be a key cog in a lot of people's teams and everything, because he's really a great defensive player and everything else like that right now. PJ Tucker ends up free. He played for Milwaukee. He played for Miami. He played for Houston. He's a great player. Where would you like to see PJ Tucker land? And what do you think he's going to make an immediate difference?
I mean, anybody that need a dog, do you go get this dog? That man is a dog. He makes every team he's on better, but you don't need him. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to have a dog to bite people. You know what I'm saying? And so PJ Tucker bite people. It was great. Thank you. But you didn't bite enough people. And so we're going to go another direction. And, who needs a nigga bit? Milwaukee uses somebody that bite.
You don't bite enough people.
Yeah, for not for Milwaukee. And, and that little $7 million, a lot of people will pay that without even batting an eye. It's not $30 million. So PJ Tucker could end up I like him going back to Milwaukee, to be honest. Because they lost their manhood when he left. PJ Tucker is Milwaukee's boss.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. I think he's going back to Milwaukee. T, where you see PJ Tucker landed?
Did I not say that?
Yeah, you said that he was the balls of the team, right?
That's why I skipped past that real fast. Thanks, Mike, for bringing that back up.
No, I just wanted to reiterate, because I think as comedians we should address the fact that I don't know if PJ Tucker took that as a compliment.
That's the only way to take it. PJ, if you're watching, throw the sack.
I don't know. Like, I'm confused because first he was the dog that's gonna bite, and then he was the boss. Is he biting his ball?
He was the manhood of the team, which made him the boss.
No, he's the heartbeat.
Where you see PJ Tucker landed at, man?
With what they're putting together now, with the thing we just dealt with, talking about the whole Kyrie thing, don't be surprised. New York love to bring little vets over there, people with some past experience, some hard nose. Like he said, he's a dog, and I wouldn't be surprised if he end up in the Knicks, because the Knicks are doing. I don't know if you've been watching and paying attention, but they've been making some moves that are yet to be finalized. Don't think he won't get swept up in that.
Okay, so you think he'll land in the Knicks? Let me ask this Knicks fan on the panel. You think PJ Tucker gonna land in the Knicks, Big?
I can't say that I think he's going to, but I mean, as a Knicks fan, I'd love to have him. PJ Tucker, man, he got a work ethic. He's one of those dudes from like a throwback from back in the day, put on his hard hat, bring his lunch bucket, and he get to work, man. And he put in that work on defense. Plus, what people don't talk about is PJ Tucker to hit that 3-pointer from the corner. Talent got his dog barking is crazy.
Perfect time.
PJ Tucker got a lot of what New York basketball players and fans love. He got that aggression and that defensive energy, and he's the guy to throw himself on the floor to get loose balls, pause. He's that grit that we need in New York. He's one of them players, man, that got that what every team needs to win a championship, man. Draymond Green in Golden State, Marcus Smart in Boston. PJ Tucker's one of them dudes, man.
What he got?
Definitely.
He got that aggression.
Definitely. Mike Shaw, what do you think PJ Tucker's
gonna lose ball?
PJ's the guy.
Anybody that is a quality player, I would want on the Knicks. But if I'm the Timberwolves or the Memphis Grizzlies, I'm going to grab him up and put that veteran on that them young boy squads so that he can set the example of what playoff defense looks like. Now, Milwaukee would be perfect because I really think they missed them. Milwaukee would be perfect. But if I'm a young team on the verge with the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies, I'm trying to maybe even overpay him a bit and raise it to $10 million to get him on that team for a 2-year contract. And I think that might be something he'd want to do. But my first option is always the Knicks. But those two teams, those two young boy teams, I think would really benefit from having them on the squad.
All right, next round of series up for questions. Starts with you, Fig. Check this out. The Pacers are seriously discussing trades around Miles Turner and Malcolm Brogdon. According to Bleacher Report, it looks like Miles Turner is out the door first, and Malcolm Brogdon is going to be out the door second. These deals are going to close before Thursday. Obviously, people are trying to make these things happen before free agency stuff kicks off and everything else. Miles Turner is the guy who's interesting because if he goes to a lot of teams right now, because he's wing, he's defending everything else, great defender, everything else. He's also a scorer. He could change a lot of trajectories of a lot of teams. Where do you see Miles Turner landing that, Fig? You up first.
Wow. Where do I see Miles Turner? Well, listen, as a Knicks fan, I'll take either one. Miles Turner, Malcolm Brogdon. Them boys are ballers, man. Brogdon is a defender. He's a shooter. He handles the ball, and Turner is just, man, he's just a beast. I'm trying to think, like, who needs something like that? I'm trying to think what team off the top of my head could use something like that, man. All of the teams that was in the playoffs. I mean, look,
if he lands in Milwaukee,
LA seems like they need to get younger. They can use either one of those dudes.
Milwaukee,
either
Miami.
one of those dudes, huh?
Yeah. I said Milwaukee, Miami. Yeah,
either one of those dudes is a plug and play, like right now, all day, every day. So any team that needs something to get over that hump, to get to the next level, they could use either one of those dudes or both.
Definitely agree with that part. Mike Sean, Miles Turner on the trading block, Indiana Pacers, one of their scorers, you know what I mean? And he, I'm scared if he lands on Miami. That's what I'm scared of personally, because obviously if they're going to lose PJ Tucker, I think they're going to pick up somebody like Miles Turner or Brogdon. But where do you see him going to, man? That's going to make a huge difference for a team that's like 1 or 2 pieces away. Where do you see?
Oh, man, there's always the usual suspects, man. It's always, it's always going to be Miami, trying to build something because Riley is obsessed with winning one more championship before he retires. I'm trying to think of other teams. I mean, we keep forgetting about the Clippers. We keep talking about LA. We keep forgetting that Kawhi and Paul George are back. And you add a young guy like that who's athletic, who can play inside and outside. I mean, he's not a great 3-point shooter, but I mean, he's athletic enough to cover different positions. That would be awesome. But I think the Lakers really want Malcolm. I think the Lakers, if they could pull that off to have him as a point guard, I don't think people understand the numbers that he put up last year.
They don't.
Like he is a high level point guard that can run that offense and make up. Obviously, I don't know. They'd have to take Westbrook. Whoever takes Westbrook, God bless you. But that would have to happen. Those are the teams that I would think of off the top of my head.
I think so too. But Rodney Perry, you notice how he said that the Lakers, because at the end of the day, quiet is kept. The Lakers ain't in conversation with anybody to get rid of Russell Westbrook because that Russell Westbrook contract is huge. What do you think? Rodney Perry?
I mean, I think they'll end up having to keep Westbrook and add a piece to him, much less expensive piece, a point guard of sorts, and Russell Westbrook gonna lead that second squad. I don't think they're gonna be able to get rid of him because that contract is something people are not gonna obligate for.
Right.
They stuck with Russell, and you just better hope AD get healthy enough to play the whole season.
Yeah, I agree with that too. But T, Miles Turner on the trading block for the Indiana Pacers, man. Indiana was going one way. It looked like if they get rid of him, I don't see how they could continue to even stay in the contention for the playoffs. But that's neither here nor there. Where you see Miles Turner landing and where you see him, he make an immediate impact besides the usual suspect. He make immediate impact anywhere he lands. Where you see him going?
First of all, let's talk about the immediate impact he's going to make leaving the Pacers. They immediately become a scrimmage team. That's immediate impact on that side of the ball. But I'm like you, Frank. I'm worried about him going to Miami. If he goes to Miami, that's almost a speed track dance back to the chip. You know what I mean? At least the conference finals. So I think that's the most place he can go, the most impactful place he could go. However, let's not rule out Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's not rule out. Let's not talk about this like Milwaukee's done and they just what they got is what they got. Teams in the offseason always looking to get better. And let's not sleep on Milwaukee saying, you know what? See what we could do, man. Get this guy over here. You add him to a Milwaukee. I see a fantastic leap for the Bucks.
Yeah, I do too. You know what? The team that I think that we're not talking about either, also that we got to pay attention to, man. We got to pay attention to the Chicago Bulls because the Chicago Bulls getting ready to do something too because they got Zach Randolph. They're gonna do something one way or the other. So it'd be scary if he goes out there and land them with Chicago too.
And Philly too.
Yeah,
Philly,
but
yeah.
they don't really have. We'll get into Philly in a second. I'm gonna start with you, T. I'm gonna throw it out to you, T. This one's for you. Before we jump into our top 10, because I asked everybody, did everybody do the top 10? Did everybody do their top 10?
I didn't.
All right. So before we get to that,
it shouldn't be hard though.
Kevon Looney, Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, all unrestricted free agents for Golden State. All of them. T, you up first. Does Golden State sign Kevon Looney, Andrew Wiggins, and Jordan Poole? 2 of the 3, all 3. What do you think Golden State does for this situation?
I think they've shown us over the years that they have some really good financial guys in that organization. And they've always figured out a way, whether it's this guy deferring his money, this guy taking a couple of dollars less. They haven't had a struggle in that department per se. So I see them trying to keep all these guys and work it out and figure it out. And keep in mind, this wouldn't be the first time Steph went back in office and said, okay, you know what? That 20, I'm supposed to get bubbled up. Push it back another year, split it up between this year and the year after that. So I think from what I've seen in the last, I'd say about 6 seasons, these guys are good with finance. I don't see them giving stuff up for a couple of dollars. I see them making it work. And you seen Draymond at the the parade.
Actually, no, I didn't.
He said fuck everybody. No, literally.
Thanks for making me.
Have y'all seen it?
Yeah.
He said it.
I
just said it.
No, I believe. Mike Sean, do you think of the 3, who do you think they keep? Do you think they're able to keep all 3? Do you think they prioritize? Do you think Andrew Wiggins has moved up into what's your thoughts?
Andrew Wiggins is the tough one because championships aren't going to change Andrew Wiggins' legacy. Like championships aren't the main. Like he already got a ring. He's good. And if there's ever a time you're going to cash in, this is where you cash in. Like Jordan Poole and Looney, y'all need to chill and stay with that group who are going to take care of you or whatever. But I mean, I'd have to tell my agent, like, what is my value right now? You got people arguing that I should have been co-MVP. Once again, it doesn't matter if Wiggins wins championships. His legacy is sealed. Andrew Wiggins is never going to be in our top 10. He's never going to be rated with the greatest of all time. This might be the time where he goes like, I need 150 million. I need 160 million. And that might be the tough one. And I wouldn't blame him. I mean, he'll probably win another championship with Golden State. But like I said, what does that really do for him?
If he stays. If he
stays. Because, a Boston somebody is going to overpay him. Somebody's going to give him a nice minimum $150 million contract. And I can't get mad at somebody taking that.
Let's see. Fig, does Andrew Wiggins stay with Golden State? Kevon Looney, Jordan Poole, all 3? 1, 2, 3. What's your thoughts?
I think they all stay. And I'll tell you why. Kevon Looney has been there like since forever. And they stayed with him past a lot of his injuries. Jordan Poole, G League player, very young, 27 years old. Seems like he loves the organization. Now, Andrew Wiggins was drafted first. LeBron James got rid of him before he even made the team photo for what was his name? Kevin Love. They traded him off as a rookie. And he's been a journeyman all over the league doing nothing. And everybody was talking bad about him. As soon as he gets to the Golden State Warriors and playing with that crew, now all of a sudden he's this dude. You pay him a bunch of money put him on another team without the Golden State Warriors, does he go back to who he used to be? Pretty much a journeyman in the NBA. So it all depends on what these guys really want from their career. You want to stay and have a chance at winning every year? You stay with the Golden State Warriors, and they're going to put some money in your pocket because that's what they do.
I don't know if they can financially afford to do that, though, Fig. That's the problem I think they're going to have.
They paid Kevin Durant.
Yeah, his current contract is $29 million a year.
Yeah, I don't think they can financially able to do that because of luxury tax. And Andrew Wiggins is going to mess up all that because he was He was the number 1 pick in the draft. He's going to get paid for that, and he had an outstanding playoffs. So I don't know if they're going to play.
The Golden State Warriors have been known to pay luxury tax to keep their players. That's what they do.
Yeah, but this is a little bit more than that. Like Andrew,
okay.
I don't know. We'll see. I can't debate what they think. I don't know. Rodney Perry, what's your thoughts? You think that they'll be able to keep all 3 because that luxury tax? They're already in the luxury tax. Matter of fact, they're already there now. So what do you think they do?
I mean, that's the occupational hazard of winning. Is people's prices go up, right? But that organization has proven to be loyal. Even whether it's to be a Kevon Looney, who's look at Kevon Looney. He's not a good-looking guy, and
what?
they have went out their way to keep him, man, amongst a locker room full of good-looking guys. And so you see he's taking steps toward his grooming. His grooming is better, and he's doing a lot better, man. And he's still, again, not an attractive guy, but he's coming around and he's getting some chicks too. So that's a good thing. Wiggins, another guy, not attractive guy. And but he was able to really to play some defense, this year, this season, and I don't think they want to get rid of that without a replacement for it. So I think they'll try to sign everybody, man, to keep the team intact and go for another run.
T, did you go up? Did you answer this question? I don't know if you did. I don't think you did. T, what's your thoughts?
I was last.
T, you did? Okay, good.
Yo, Frank, the luxury tax that Golden State has to pay is $170 million.
That's why I said
I didn't know it was that
up. Yeah. I
didn't know that.
All right, so before we jump into the next thing, man, I asked you guys to do top 10. So I guess since all of you all didn't do it, I'll ask a simple question because I did a top 10. Fig did a top 10. I'm gonna start with you, T. Basically, the question is Steph Curry in your top 10 of NBA all-time greatest players since the inception of the NBA? Is he in your top 10? Is Steph Curry in your top 10? And
yes, he just this solidified. I always thought he was, and argumentatively, but this is his hands down. He makes my top 10.
Do you have your top 10 ready?
Absolutely. I've been working on this all morning. First of all, I'd like to thank the Academy. My mom, my dogs, they always stand by me, literally. So this is what I came up with. And let me put this disclaimer out in the beginning. The way I do the top 10 is I think that we have 5 positions of the game. So you pick the top 2 of all time in those positions, will give you your top 10. So now this is not in any particular order, people, just top 10 players. So I'm going to go with this. Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, LeBron, Steph Curry, Kobe, Shaq, Larry Bird, Tim Duncan, and Dr. J. Now, let me say this. I'm appalled that there's only one white guy making the top 10 all these years of playing ball. To say that, but my top 10 guys are game changers. I got to hold that bottom 10 if we did 20. They're all nice and hard to beat, but these guys change the game in some form of fashion, and that's why my top 10 of those guys.
All right, Fig, what's your top 10?
Man, it's kind of strange. If me and Talent had the same pretty much top 3, I got MJ, Kareem, of course, Magic. I got Kobe, Tim Duncan, LeBron, Shaq, Curry, Larry Bird. And rolling up at number 10, man, I think one of the dopest point guards to play in the rough and tussle era was Isaiah Thomas, man. Isaiah Thomas went up against some of the best players ever, man. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and he was able to squeak out too, and he was the leader of that team.
So Steph, I didn't hear Steph was in your top 10? I didn't hear that.
You said what?
Steph is in your top 10?
Yeah, I got Curry. I got Curry at number 8.
Okay. Mike Sean, you got your top 10 ready? Ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your top 10?
I don't like doing these top 10s, but I'm gonna tell you, I think every era should be judged on the top 10 of each era, and they should be compared to each other because I'm taking spots. Curry's not in my top 10. He's actually just outside of my top 10.
Mine too. But before you say that, let me just say the reason why I said that is because I wanted to ask if of all time. That's the reason why I said that.
Of all time gets difficult because I can't. Even though I didn't see these guys play, I can't keep them out. Kareem, LeBron, Jordan, Magic, Kobe, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, Dr. J, Hakeem Olajuwon are my top 10.
All right,
and then right outside of it is Durant, 11, and Steph Curry, and their careers ain't over. So, and I got like 20 other guys who deserve to be in the top 10.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just it's impossible to limit. If I name the players that I left out, I mean, it's ridiculous.
So, Rodney, you didn't do a top 10. I'm going to ask you, should Steph be in your top 10? Steph in your top 10?
I've been seeing people talk about this all around the league, man. And, I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, I think Steph Curry, and he don't get the credit mostly because he's a short guy. If you look at most people's top 10, they're all people above 6'6". So,
yep.
I think Steph Curry, for the sole reason he's the best shooter in the world that we've ever seen, transcendent player, absolutely should be in the top 10. And they say, well, who come out? One of them old people that play with all whites.
Interesting.
Bill Russell, get out of here.
You smoking crack.
Yeah,
Bill Russell, get out of here. But you can't put him out because he got all the rings. Who are the other big dudes that play with Bill Russell era?
Who played against Wilt Chamberlain. Like, those are the two best who played against each other.
So which one was on Boston?
Bill Russell.
He stayed. Wilt Chamberlain, your ass is out. That's it.
All right, so he said that. I'm gonna give y'all my top 10. My top 10 is I like a lot of people. I like all y'all's top 10, to be honest with you. I like all of them. I just don't think Steph should be in the top 10. I got Magic. I got Mike, Magic, Larry Bird, Kareem, Kobe.
Larry Bird.
Kobe, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Julius Irving, Shaq, and LeBron. That's my top 10.
Where's Larry Bird in forwards? Is he top 5 forwards?
Top 3. Not just top 5, top 3.
Top 3.
Not because Larry used to do something that nobody else did. He used to tell you what he was going to do and then do it to you. He did it to everybody in the league.
But I when we do this, I like to say, if you put Steph Curry in your top 10, I got no debate.
Yeah,
I got no debate against it. It's just like, it's so subjective. The dude has done top 10 work.
I'll tell you this.
There's not enough space.
Do you know why Steph Curry's in my top 10? Because if you put him back in the olden days, they would have burned his ass at the stake because they would have thought he was a wizard.
What?
If you take Steph Curry and put him back in when they were playing basketball in black and white, and he was shooting from half court, way the way he's shooting right now, they would have burned his behind at the stake and called him a witch. Well, that's how good he is.
If they would have
saw 6'2" and got more shots from half court than damn near anybody else that ever played the game.
Big, let me just say this. Big, if you take any NBA player, they would do that to anybody.
If they would have saw Doc, if they would have saw Doc,
I'm talking about him because he's 6'2". Everybody else on my list is damn near, is
at least 6'6",
6'8", 6'9", 7 feet. You know what I mean? Shaq is a freak of nature. Michael Jordan, 6'6". Kareem, 7 foot. Magic, 6'9". Kobe, 6'6". I'm just like, all these dudes is big.
But if that's
about the height, it's about the way they play now versus the way they play then. That's what it's about.
Frank, was you finished with the whole list?
That's it.
What was disrespectful is that I forgot, not disrespected too. AI ain't in this top 10.
AI is not in there.
But AI, if AI was going to the basket, was Steph Curry was shooting threes. I mean, he was the equivalent.
AI don't have no championships, though, right?
Yeah, but I don't see, people take these champions. I put Bill Russell in it. I don't count a team accomplishment as an individual accomplishment because Steph don't win them championships without his team. Mike don't win it without Scotty, and Magic don't win it without
a chip.
You got to count.
I can because what AI did is unprecedented. Like he's not 6 foot. First of all, AI is not 6 foot.
Everybody in my top 10 got multiple championships. Everybody.
But that's not.
I mean, when I was a kid and I was playing basketball, football, baseball, whatever it was, the only reason we played that damn game and the only reason you picked somebody on your team is because you thought they was going to help you win. And if you don't win, I don't give a damn what your stats say.
No,
like when Wilt Chamberlain got that thing for 100 points. If you ain't winning the championship, damn your 100 points. I don't care.
All right, let's move on before Rodney Perry falls out the chair or falls asleep.
But that's a team accomplishment. That's a team
accomplishment. Let's move on before he falls completely asleep.
Because Charles Barkley, you can make the argument that Charles Barkley's in the top 10, and you can make the argument that Karl Malone's in the top 10, and there's no debate. You can't debate somebody with what they've done in the NBA. Because other players will tell you the same thing. You can put them in the top 10 with no problem. The Dream Team was made up of players, a lot of players that didn't have championships, and that's the greatest team of all time, everybody says.
Yeah, but like I said, let's move on because that's another great point. Let's move on. Let's keep this going. Rodney Perry, since you the one who you ain't sleep at all, I'm gonna start this one with you, bro. And we're gonna do this real fast.
Rodney, wake up early too now. Rodney, wake up early.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if you heard about this, Rodney, but the Phoenix Suns are hiring Morgan Cato as assistant GM and vice president of basketball operations. It's a woman. She is going to be the NBA highest ranking woman in front office, sources are telling ESPN. She will also be the first woman of color to hold the title of assistant GM. She's going to be moving and shaking, and the Phoenix Suns landed her. What you think about that, RP?
I mean, even more reason they're going to continue to lose.
That's a hot take.
Hey.
I mean, I know this is beautiful, man. I mean, the NBA is doing a lot of great things for the, to put women in strategic places. They're on the court. They're doing pre and post interviews. It's all this great stuff. They all 5'5". You see the guy leaning down, damn on a knee to talk to him, and then you got this lady. There's also a woman in ownership over there with Denver, which is good to see as well. But you're still dealing with a sexist world with a lot of sexist dudes, and so you can make sweeping moves, but the guys don't change. The guys are still horrible. They still gonna be looking at her ass and her titties. So, I just don't see the guys changing no time soon. But this is a great step.
All right, Mike Sean. In other news, wait
a minute, man. Wait a minute.
Moving on.
Just because you brush across it, Frank, don't mean I didn't say it. I guys want to expound on it. Let them talk.
No, because I got to edit it out. No, I don't want to expound on it. No. Rajon Rondo got the emergency protection orders now got listed on Saturday on Rajon Rondo. Rajon Rondo make a move back to the league, Mike Sean? You think Rajon Rondo ends up coming back?
As long as it's not criminal, as long as he didn't break, Rodney got me flustered, y'all. Like, I
love it.
I know.
I think
Rodney always inadvertently says the deepest thing ever heard in the hour that we on here, man.
Listen, guys.
And a lot
you
of
guys try to sound like real pundits. We're not real pundits, okay?
Yeah, but we're not nasty either. And I ain't trying to edit.
No, I'm not being nasty. I'm making a valid point.
All right, you say your point again.
Men are sexist, and they will continue to be sexist. They're gonna look at her titties and her ass.
That's the part. Like,
I think guys have changed a little bit. I mean, you see the way Russell Westbrook dresses. We're changing. Like, guys are changing too. Like, things are different. And next, go ahead, Fig. Put Fig square up. Take me down.
Go ahead, Fig.
What question am I answering, Frank?
You can expound on that one, or you can talk about Rajon
Hey man,
Rondo.
look, I think in a world, look, it's hard for me to be a black man in America and not be happy for anybody who could cross or break a glass ceiling and ascend to heights that has never been reached before. As if you want to call minority, whether you be Hispanic, Asian, whatever, Black American, Native American, whatever it is, if you could ascend past that white wall and break through and have a significant job as a leader of an organization, I think it's amazing. So I'm happy for Morgan Cato. When you first said Morgan, I thought you said Morgan Freeman, and I was gonna say, wow, that's big because he's done a lot. And my favorite Cato was from the Green Hornet, but that's all I got to say.
I don't know what happened in that household just now. Somebody put some helium through the pipes or something. But just to give a solution to Rodney's I like to solve problems. So Rodney says, very sexist world, a lot of sexist people. Here's a solution. How about we just have sex? We don't have to. Then if everybody took that approach, right? I mean, don't mind me. Sorry, Frank.
No, go ahead.
Shout out to the problem solver. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, but I mean, it's great. I mean, anytime we can. Here's my thing. I'm all for. I'm like 2/3 in the whole movement of women and opportunity across the board. You know what I mean? So I'm all for the ladies. Like I said, 2/3. I'm not one of those people that's not a realist and gonna want them all over the construction sites. All right. That's a bit much for me. When a woman want to be a man, that's where I draw the line. All right. You want the pay, get the pay. You want the opportunity all day. You gonna come in you slinging, get out of here.
All right, so who wants to ask the last one about Rajon Rondo? Anybody think Rajon Rondo coming back into the league?
I think
absolutely. He'll be back in the league. He'll be back in the league. Absolutely. I mean, he'll play again, and he'll play till he can't play.
Right, Rodney sound like Spike Lee in the Blues movie. You be back again, Bleak. I won't sell it.
That's my favorite movie. Don't play with that movie.
No, I think why
I won't sell it, Bleak. You play again.
He got that face.
I'd love to see Rondo. Frank, I don't know. I don't want you to get mad at me. I'd love to see Rondo back in the Celtics, man, because let me tell you something. He's a floor general. He knows how to get the ball to where people is. And as far as winning, he's effective winning on a lot of the teams that he's gone to if that team has talent. You take a guy like Rajon Rondo and put him on the Celtics with them young dudes, they do a whole lot different.
Hey, Frank, why don't you do some investigating? What is it that Rondo does in the locker room that people send him from a Hall of Famer gets kicked out championship teams after he wins a championship?
Oh, I already know. My cousin worked for the Celtics, told me his whole problem. He yells and argues and gets in people's faces, and a lot of those players don't like that. That's what he does.
Rondo?
That's that youth. Rondo's a little late. If he would have been back in the 80s and the 90s, that's the type of player that
I thought he choked his wife. Though. I thought that was the issue.
That's the issue that he's not being in the league. He just asked me what's the issue why teams don't like him. Teams don't like him because he gets in players' faces. He literally
that'd be the type of player that you use in the 80s and 90s, and he'd be welcome in any locker room. Tell you this, Rondo, only player to win a championship with 2 storybook franchises, the Celtics and the Lakers.
Yep, the only one. Definitely.
So I mean, a simple thing with that question, Frank. Anytime you ask, is a player coming back or want to play again in any league, all you got to do is look at the face. There's a face that these players have that they don't want to be home.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he did pull a gun out on his baby mama. You know what I mean? And the league knows that.
But I've also seen pictures of him holding his kids and handing it. He got the face. I just got it for 2 hours. You got that face. So those guys with that face always come back. You ain't seen at the end of the last season in the NFL. Brady had that face. Everybody talking about, can't believe he retired. I said, he'll be back. You got the face.
Yeah.
Well, you did bring up the gun. You did bring up the gun. You make a good point there. Him and Jamal Crawford might be in the big 3. I don't know.
Roger Gray, tell everybody out there how they can follow you, bro. We out of here.
Hey, I'm easy to find, man. PJ Tucker is still the balls of the league. Who wrote that? Anyway.
Greg, everybody out there, they can find you.
Put it in his tight.
Hey, Comedian Fig on social media platforms, man. Great show today.
T.
You can find me at sexistsociety.com because this is a sexist world. So I just started that website while we were doing the show. Tonight, if you're in New York City, in the Boogie Down Bronx, Salsa con Fuego, holding it down for my man Rob Stapleton. I got the Divas of Comedy in there. Dominique's in town. Ray Diva's in town. Ashima Franklin's in town. And we putting it down at Salsa con Fuego, 7 o'clock tonight on Fordham Road in the Bronx. Woo!
Mike Sean.
Yeah, don't follow me, but I just want to say Brittany Griner's girlfriend is typical. Her wife is a typical wife. This woman's in jail. It don't matter as lesbian. This woman's in jail, and all your ass is worried about is talking to her on your anniversary. Bitch, get her out. Get her out of jail. All you worried about is talking on your anniversary? I'm in jail.
Y'all, thank y'all for joining the show. Of course, as you guys know, that's Rodney, that's Fig, that's Talent, that's Mike. The show's called Box Seats. We'll be back on tomorrow with another interesting take. We're gonna try to figure out another top 10 that we can decide and figure out because these guys have some interesting takes on and we're gonna do something different, a little different.
And let's deal with the irony of Brittany Griner in jail, and it's Juneteenth.
Yeah, the irony of that. What's that? I can't say reflecting.
That's Brittany Griner girl.
And a fiance.
She grinding on her girl?
Oh, I can see it now. Yeah.
Yeah, she's tall.
Yo, y'all, that's the show. We'll see y'all tomorrow.